Hello everyone and welcome back to the 3T Path channel. My name is Giridhari and today I want to read for you a beautiful verse from Bhagavad-gita which took me like 10 years to understand. It's quite cryptic, but once you get it, it really is like the very basis of the whole yoga philosophy of the path described by Krishna. So let's take a look at it now. This is verse 47 of chapter 2 and it goes like this. Karmaṇy evādhikāras te phaleṣu kadācana karma-phala-hetur bhūr saṅgo akarmaṇi. Krishna says, you have the right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. There's so much in this verse, so let's take a look at it. For one thing, Krishna seems to be breaking every working law in the world. Like you have the right to work, but not the result of the work. So you work, but no salary for you, no profit, nothing. You just do the work. You can work, I'll let you work, but you can't have anything else. So first, like, what? This seems so unfair, Krishna. What are you talking about? This is the most unfair thing I've ever heard. You're saying that I can work? You've given me the right to work, but I can't get anything from it? What? So very difficult to understand. Then, I'm going to explain it though, Cal. And then, never consider yourself the cause of the results of your work. So, but wait a second, I'm the one doing it. How am I not the cause of the result? I'm the one who made the result happen. Very confusing, very confusing. And then he says, but also never be attached to not doing your duty. Because from the beginning, it's like, look, you can work, but you can't get anything. You don't cause any results. Then you're like, okay, so I'm just going to give everything up. I'm just going to not do anything, right? Why should I even bother if I can't have anything? It's not even me doing it. It's not because of me. The results aren't coming because of me. I can't enjoy the results. They're not mine. I can only do the work. What's the point? I'm just not going to do it. He says, no, but then you can't not do your work. Never not do your work. It's very confusing. So let's try to make sense of it now. So what's happening is this. Let's just, you can even look at the specific situation. Arjuna is there in this battle of Kurukshetra and he doesn't want to deal with the battle. He doesn't want to fight. It's not a nice fight. It's a world war. And because it's a world war, everyone in the world is fighting. And that means that he's got family members, uncles, and his grandfather, and even his guru fighting on the opposite side. He's going to have to fight these figures, which for him were naturally people who would deserve his respect and his service, not his arrows, not his blows. So, very uncomfortable situation for him. So he doesn't want to fight. But Krishna is saying, look, you have to fight. So what's going on here? So what Krishna is saying is then, look, you have to perform your dharma. You have to do your dharma. You can't not do your dharma. Never not want to do your dharma. Because Arjuna was like, I don't want to do this. I'm going to walk out of here and I don't care. I'm going to be shamed. I'm going to lose everything. I'll become a beggar. That's fine with me, he says. But Krishna says, no. Never become attached to not doing your duty. You have to do your duty. So Arjuna, your duty is to fight. You're the legitimate owner, you're the legitimate heir of power. It is your, duty to maintain the constitution, as it were, to maintain the proper transmission of power. It is you have to be in charge. You have to fight for it. That is your duty. These people are trying to usurp your power. They're not it's a coup. It's a coup d'état. It's, they're trying to. You can't just sit back. You have to fight. So you have to fight, but the results are not for you. You have the right to do your duty, but not to get the results. So what's Krishna saying? Krishna is saying, look, you have to stay in the here and now. You have to maintain yourself in the here and now, because right now all I can do is act. The result, okay, you can even say that you have a part in it, but you don't control the results. They're not your results. And that's why you can't claim them for yourself, because there's so many other factors involved when we do anything. The simplest act we do has so many other factors. I mean, you have the laws of nature, you have like other beings, you have the will of God, you have providence. I mean, there's all these other things that we don't pay attention to, we don't see, but there's all these other things happening at every moment. And we're just a tiny little infinitesimal player in this grand scheme of things. So don't think that your participation, that's what caused it. No. There's the time, there's the place, there's God's will, there's providence, there's all these things going on. And all those other living entities with all their desires, all this is playing out in our lives. You have to understand that we're sharing the stage of life. We're not alone. We're sharing the stage of life with trillions of other living entities. So, the stuff that's going on here has all these different wills involved, all these different destinies involved. So when you do something, all these other, not only humans, but all these other living beings are getting part of this is all part of their karma, this is all happening. It's a giant scheme going on, which God is controlling. And yours is that infinitesimal part. So, first thing, you have to do your dharma. And you have to keep your mind in the here and now, focused on the action. Totality of your mind in the action. That's called being mindful. Be totally mindful of your action in your dharma. Not just any action, but your action within your dharma, within your duties. Not with your mind in the future. This is what I call in the 3T path, the fantasy paradigm, when your mind disconnects from the here and now and goes to the future, thinking of the results. You think, this result is going to be like this, and I'm going to like it, and it's going to... No. Yeah, you can't do that. You have to be right here in the here and now, just doing your best according to what your duties are. Reality will unfold in a certain way. We never know exactly how it's going to unfold. And then whatever comes our way, then we just, okay, what is my duty in this situation? And that's why Dharma is a continuous flow of activities. You're continuously in action in your Dharma, and you have the right to maintain that action in the here and now continuously. It never ends. It's never ended. It's always going on. You've always existed. You will always exist, Krishna explained. So you always have your action to have to be done, even if the action is just having fun or sleeping. But there is something you're doing right here, in the here and now. So then you have the right to do that. And the result, you're not the doer. It's one of the great lessons we learn from yoga. You're not the doer. We are not even made of the same stuff of this reality. This reality is made of prakriti, material energy. We are made of another stuff. Krishna says, look, I have two types of energies, material energy and a superior energy. This superior is consciousness, spiritual energy. We are made of this spiritual conscious energy. That's what we are, the real us. And then we are within a body made of this lower material energy, within a reality of this lower material energy. But we're not this energy. So you can't be causing anything here because you're not even of the same dimension. You're of a different reality. Two realities, material reality, spiritual reality. You're a spiritual being. And this is the material reality. So we're at different realities, different dimensions, if you want. Just a different situation entirely. That's why we're not the doer in materia, because here only matter is acting. That's called the gunas. So only the gunas are acting on the gunas, and you're just giving your input in terms of your free will, of your desire. So you submit your input in that sense. But the result, again, there's so many inputs into this reality, and we're not the controller. None of us control matter. Only God controls matter. But we have a participation in our free will. We can put in a vote, as it were. So Krishna is saying, look, you do your thing, okay? Keep focused on your action. You have to do that. I don't want you to be feeling useless, lost. No. You have the right to action. So yes, be engaged. Don't be aloof. Don't be lost in the world. Don't be disengaged. Be attentive, active in the world. The result, forget the result. I mean, you're doing your best now. That's all you do. Do your best now. The result, we'll see what the result is. It's not yours. And never be attached to not doing your dharma. So then it starts to make sense. This is the essence of all Bhagavad-gita. Always in the here and now. Always focused on dharma. Doing your best. And then, of course, what's not mentioned here is that we're doing that for the pleasure of Krishna. And that's going to become in a higher, in a later section of Bhagavad-gita. Krishna will say, do all that for me. Do that as an offering unto me. Yajna. Do that as an offering unto me. And that's it. That's the whole concept of this enlightened life in the service of Krishna. This is yoga in action. So I hope you understood that. I hope you like that, and hope that reveals the secret of this amazing, important verse, but difficult to understand verse. And then you may have the rest of your day with lots of peace and lots of love.